Why do you think it's harder for black Americans to obtain voter ID?
Well, it's a class issue, and because of systemic racism, it's usually people of color, so black Americans, who are at the bottom of the socioeconomic classes, which means that they will have the most trouble like having to pay to go get voter ID laws or voter IDs.
You motherfuckers racist as hell. Why the wouldn't black people have that? What's the difference between us and you?
How does somebody tell you they're racist without telling you they're racist? Very simple. By telling you you are born handicapped.
Another tweet that said the Democratic Party is comprised of racist white liberals.
That is correct.
Am I a racist white liberal?
Well, let's go back. And let's say, I will say this, that many people in the party are not aware of their own racism. Let's go back to an early part of this conversation where you said to me, are you concerned about the color in the White House? Why would you ask me that question?
Because you speak about black issues.
No, but why would you ask me? But let's get to really the nucleus of this. Why did you ask me that question today?
Because I'm
why did you feel that I needed to be
perspective.
concerned about that?
Because you're bringing a whole group of young African-American leaders to the White House.
Okay, so this is something that I talk about often, is that in many ways, white liberals don't realize that you put on that, the racism and the conversations that we have.
So you're saying I'm a racist?
You haven't let me finish my statement. You keep cutting me off.
Go ahead.
Okay? The emphasis that you place is always on having a discussion about race. Okay? You guys are insistent on having a conversation about race and telling us that we should see, and implying that we should see race everywhere, and I don't agree with that. If you don't look at me according to the color of my skin, you would simply ask me how I thought that Trump was doing as a president. But instead, you try to drum up a conversation that's surrounded by race by asking me, are there enough black people in the White House?
You're bringing a whole group of young black leaders to the White House.
You see color, I don't.
She's too smart for you.
If you want racial equality, race has to be uninteresting to everybody. If you want more people to become vegan, you need to stop talking about meat and enjoy your vegan. And maybe people would be like, hey, that's an interesting meal. Let me try it out.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Do you think genitals define gender?
No.
Why?
You can do, it's your body and your choice, and you can do whatever you want.
So like, what if I wanted to change my race? Is that okay?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Got your ass.
911, what's your emergency? Do you know how I have to answer this question?
Why are you destroying private property? That's not cool. You just can't take down other people's ideas because you disagree with the idea of it. If your guys' ideas are so fragile they can never be challenged without you ripping down that, I think that says more about your ideas than his.
She has a point.
Yes. Posters aren't supposed to be on the lampposts because you need to have permission to place them.
Like how your flyer is on the pole?
Strike two!
So the only free speech that's allowed to happen is yours. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to interact with you. If you want interaction, it's not going to happen. But you won't come and ask them a question. Go put up the flyers. Come on.
Just so you can tear them down again?
Yep! There's still plenty up, aren't there?
We're not taking down your flyers. We're not covering up your flyers. I don't know why you feel the need to take ours down.
It's called double standard.
You want to call us fascists. You want to say that we're horrible people because we have different viewpoints than you, but you're the ones taking down the flyers.
It's facts! It's facts! It's not facts. These facts are not facts.
Self-identify as a socialist? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
What would be a country you think works well that's a socialist country?
There are no socialist countries right now.
Then go to Venezuela. I saw that firsthand. It doesn't work.
Has there ever been a socialist country?
Truly socialist? No.
I would say Venezuela, Cuba, those are not and were not socialist countries. I just want to make sure we complete the point. You believe in something that doesn't exist, has never existed. Socialism is always judged against an impossible utopia, and here's the truth of the matter. That markets, which you enjoy comfortably in Western society, is the most proven affluent creating machine in human history. And I would just challenge you to do one thing. Please stop believing in a utopian nightmare and start looking at things around you that are good, that are true, that are beautiful, that work, and are consistent with the natural law. You'll be a much happier person if you do that.
But for some odd reason, you never lived in such a country, you have never seen it working, but you still want to vote for it.
That just makes no sense.
Vegans are going to kill humanity. If you personally don't want to eat something with a face, good on you. I don't care, but you have to have the animals there or you will not have the carbon in the soil. You can kiss humanity goodbye. As I said, vegans are going to kill humanity.
At this event, are you consuming meat?
Yes, grass-fed beef jerky.
I read a paper from the University of Oxford in 2017 called Grazed and Confused. Are you familiar?
Totally, I am familiar. It's really wrong.
Why?
They cherry-picked statistics to prove the vegan Nazi point of view.
It acknowledges that even though certain grazing management systems can sequester carbon, this only amounts to around 20 to 60% of the emissions the animals produce in the first place.
That's simply not true.
I read some data that showed that if the US just ate grass-fed meat, that country would need 2.5 times more land.
That's assuming that you leave current corn production in corn production, current soy production in soy production.
It's not assuming that, it's taking into account that. If we shifted the system to grass-fed...
If you took the entire US, land as grass, not counting cities and roads.
There's not enough land.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is.
For us to eat the same amount of meat.
Yes. Actually, we need to be eating more meat. Again, it's not the cow, it's the how.
Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars!
And someone says she was my professor in grad school. She lives on a ranch and has extensive knowledge on this subject. She's the one that pointed me toward the Savory Institute and the Rodell Institute, which would probably support her claims in this clip. I highly recommend checking these amazing organizations out.
Chick-fil-A in front of vegans.
Anyone want some chicken nuggets?
Animal
It's free. There's Chick-fil-A sauce too.
We're not weak animal abusers like you.
No, I love abusing animals.
Hey, chickens are my friends. Yeah. Chickens purr like cats. I love chickens. I rescue chickens. I don't harm the most innocent and vulnerable beings that we share the planet with for no reason. Pleasure, taste is not an excuse for murder and abuse. You're gonna watch this later. You think you're gonna post this? You're gonna be so embarrassed when you watch this. You're never gonna post this shit. You're never gonna post it. I would love for you to post it. Animal abuser, big time loser.
Heck yeah! It's a cycle of nature. That's natural. That looks like crap. That looks terrible.
That is disgusting.
We're conservative teachers. We don't teach about Marxist BLM garbage. Communism sucks.
We're conservative teachers. We only hang the American flag in our classroom. Seriously, the rainbow flag is about who you like to have sex with.
Gross. We're conservative teachers. We don't treat our students differently based on the color of their skin. You get the grade you deserve.
That's right. We're conservative teachers. We don't ask our students for their pronouns.
We're conservative teachers. We say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays.
We're conservative teachers. We're not keeping any gender secrets from parents. Those are your kids, not ours.
Yeah, go come pick them up.
This is so normal. I think most teachers were like this back in the day, but for some odd reason, the people on the left went so crazy Cocoa Puffs to me that I'm like, wow, any teacher that acts like this, I'm like, yo, that's a breath of fresh air. Because these days, most teachers believe they are the parent and the parent is the freaking caregiver. It literally makes normal people seem right. Yeah, right-winger!
One of your functions over time has been to communicate scientific knowledge to the public.
Yeah.
And that's why I was quite surprised to hear you talk about the idea that we all exist on a spectrum where you wake up one day and you feel like you're more female and more male.
The XXXY chromosomes are insufficient because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice.
What?
Now, suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female, 20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm gonna do that. Tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Why do you care? My only point was that if who you decide is male and female in the street is a construct of style and trends, what the beauty industrial complex wants you to see, if that's how we establish gender, then maybe some people want to be fluid within that gender. So they'll wear a skirt, but maybe have a beard, or they'll mix and match that in whatever way
Neil,
you want.
sorry.
Hold on. I'm not, wait, I'm almost done.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
So,
okay.
If a person using the tools of the beauty industrial complex wants to mix and match this, they are expressing their freedom. Why is your job to tell them not to? If you want to restrict that, then what country are we living in?
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first of all, I don't know a single person, and we've talked to trans people on the show. We have trans employees at Trigonometry. We've spoken to all sorts of people about this issue. I do not know a single person who wants to prevent people from dressing how they want or behaving how they want or choosing any name that they want. However, the problem is...
So you don't... But you know such people are out there.
I'm sure such people exist in the same way that there are people who believe that the earth is flat and so on. The reason the conversations become an issue is that we assign and allow certain privileges to people based on their sex. If you are female, you get to go to places that only other females are in, like changing rooms and toilets and so on. If you are female, you get to compete only with people of your sex because females are at a disadvantage in physical competition to males in almost every sport. In other words, we carve out certain areas where your sex matters tremendously, even though we may respect your right everywhere else to believe that you are whatever you are, to dress however you are, etc. So your claim that today you woke up and put lipstick on and grew your hair out long and tweezed out your moustache and whatever, and therefore you are female, has an impact on other people in certain contexts in which that is a problem.
You gave only 2 contexts. Do you have others?
Sorry, I wasn't finished. And in those contexts, it is essential, people would argue, to protect women from unfair competition and from various risks for which female-only spaces already exist. That's why people are having this conversation. It's not out of bigotry.
Do you have more than those 2 examples? And I'll address each of those in turn. But do you have more than those 2? Probably not.
Let him finish, please.
No, there's a third one I can give you very easily. In this country, for politics, we have female-only shortlists for positions in Parliament. Therefore,
I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Okay.
Well, that's another example. I can give you more. So, female-only shortlists. There are certain targets within corporations for diversity targets to have a certain number of women on the board. Therefore, when you make a claim that you are female, you are attempting, whether intentionally or not, to insert yourself into categories that are deliberately designed to protect women's interests. That is the concern that people have. So there's 4 examples for you there.
Gotcha. Look, man, a broken clock is right twice a day. I used to respect Neil deGrasse Tyson a lot back in the day, but for some odd reason, he went in a very unique direction.
Adopting your language because you don't own reality. You don't own grammar. You don't own definitions. You're not important enough to provide me with an instruction manual on how to talk to you. Are you kidding?
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which actually fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours.
Oh my God. Set this nigga!
But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you. Look people in the eye and tell them what you've actually failed to tell them for the last 5 years. Own the accountability for your own failures as the media. And until then, I don't have a lot of patience to play the game.
I can see what he's doing. I can see it. I feel it. He's cooking.
Yeah, legacy media. Look people in the eye. In the eye! They use buzzwords that have no meaning anymore because they're repeated consistently, but they need you to respond in a specific way so they can twist it, change it, cut it up, post it online, put the wrong title and nobody reads the article, and then you realize, yo, maybe you are the person that keep dividing everybody else because you always talk about the negativity for some odd reason because you can't function normally and earn money like a normal human being because your system is all about being a victim. And a system that needs a victim can never solve the issue for the victim because there would be no job or money unless that is a victim.
Should trans athletes compete against biological women?
Of course. Yeah, I think so.
Definitely think so, yes.
I don't see that big of an issue of it.
Absolutely, they're still women.
This is a very interesting topic.
I don't think so.
I think not.
I say no. I don't think it's fair biologically.
I think it's kind of an unfair game.
They are women at the end of the day. Like once they transition, they should be able to.
No.
What?
They should have their own competition only because biologically you were born male.
Why don't you just remove all the genders, you know? I mean, what can happen? You would delete woman and biological woman, right?
Agree. At least acknowledge that sex and gender are two separate things.
That's what I was going to say. There are 0 genders, 2 sexes, and infinite personalities.
Okay.
I miss feminine man and masculine woman.
You used to call it a genocide.
I need you to understand that this is not okay.
It's not okay that there's a genocide happening. You're not actively against it.
You're lying.
I'm lying?
You're not.
You went on TV and avoided talking about it.
Then just say it's a genocide. Just say it. Over 30,000 people are dead, AOC. You can't just say it for once. Just say the word. That's it. That's all we want you to say.
Cut it, and you're going to cut this, and you're going to clip this so that it's completely out of context. I already said that it was, and y'all are just going to pretend that it wasn't over and over again. It's f***ed up, man. You're not helping these people, and you're not helping them.
You refuse to.
You're not helping them.
I mean, they're learning the tactics from you, right? And now, yeah, now they're doing it to you.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turloqueta verdeta welcome.